Good day and welcome. I'm Chala and today we are diving into the world of cryptocurrency here at Palm and Rose Gardens. With me is Mr. Chitambira, who is going to give a brief introduction about himself.
Thank you for that introduction. My name is Russel Chitambira and I was born in Masvingo, raised in Kwekwe for I think whole my life, right? And then I was at Goldrich Primary School in Newtown, and then high school I was at MCC, and currently I'm a student at the National University of Science and Technology.
All right, nice to meet you, Mr. Chitambira. So the Mbali token, tell us, what is it?
Mbali token is something that I worked on, I've been working on for a while. Mbali token is meant to be the backing system or the backing financial asset for my Mbali ecosystem, the ecosystem that I'm trying to create. Not necessarily mine, but for the people. Mbali token, it's an ERC20 token, a smart contract. In simple terms, it's sort of like a contract in itself, an agreement between a participant and the ecosystem itself, and this ecosystem being Ethereum, the Ethereum mainnet network. So I wanted my ecosystem to be able to easily connect with the Ethereum network and then move on to the blockchain, to the Bitcoin blockchain network, so that we're able to globalize and engage with the whole global village. Okay,
so is the Mbali a cryptocurrency?
Not necessarily. Calling it a cryptocurrency would be limiting it, because Mbali is a whole ecosystem, a whole financial trading ecosystem where people are able to exchange goods and services. But Mbali, the cryptocurrency's name in itself will be Mbali. But Mbali blockchain ecosystem is meant to be a place where people easily trade and sell goods.
Okay, so why did you create this token, the Mbali token?
Okay, like I said before, Mbali token is meant to be the backup, like the backing of the ecosystem, so that people are able to easily exchange into cash and into other forms of assets. So I decided that an ERC20 token would be the easiest way to have an asset that is strong enough and that is within the Ethereum network, so that it will be able to back up and will be our project, our ecosystem. Okay,
you keep mentioning that it's a blockchain ecosystem. What is a blockchain, and explain to us how it works?
I think I would like to make this as simple as possible, so that I avoid getting too technical and then people don't know what exactly I'm saying.
All right.
A blockchain is sort of like how we keep our books of accounts, like double ledger, the whole thing. So a blockchain is like a record keeping of smart contracts and transactions that occur within the blockchain ecosystem. Everything that happens that affects the blockchain ecosystem is then recorded within that blockchain. So whenever a transaction is made, it is recorded within that blockchain. So it's a record keeping ledger.
Okay, so a cryptocurrency is different from a blockchain?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so explain the difference. Like, what do cryptocurrencies do and what the blockchains do?
Cryptocurrencies are the ink for the blockchain, whereas you can't have a transaction happening without an asset being traded, a way to transact, a way to share. Whereas with cryptocurrencies, now I can have goods that are worth as much and to share, because the ecosystem is meant to be self-sustaining, right? It's meant to run on its own. It's meant to be so decentralized that it doesn't need any manual work. It doesn't need any control. Its regulation and its automated processes are meant to be the ones running. So that's why we need the cryptocurrency, and that's why it's necessary. That's what it does.
All right. Okay. So what are the government's concerns around cryptocurrencies?
All governments, their main concern really is money laundering. With Mbali, they are concerned that with any cryptocurrency really, that you can't really tell what's going on. You can't really be able to see who's doing what. There's too much financial freedom. So they are afraid that it will really help with child trafficking, money laundering. It will help with selling illegal stuff. So they're afraid it will help with illegal operations.
All right. So do you think that the government's concerns are valid enough?
The government's concerns are not valid at all, because cash does a worse off job of helping with money laundering. It helps with child trafficking. Cash, because cash can't be traced, cash can't be recorded where it's coming from, or where I get some banks, right, in the first world they have that where you're able to trace money, or where money is traceable in some way. But cash really does a worse off job than digital transactions, because now with a cryptocurrency you can trace, as long as it is digital, you can trace where the money is going, where the money is coming from.
All right. So how can the risks imposed by cryptocurrencies be mitigated and managed?
Oh, they can be mitigated by easily, because at Mbali we have an explorer where people or participants will be able to just enter Mbali address, right, and then they'll be able to see a Mbali wallet address, so that they'll be able to see what's happening within this wallet address token, be it a company that runs an ICO within our ecosystem. They'll be able to see everything that will be going on, what money is moved, where it's coming from, where it's going. So we wanted that to be able to allow users, to feel safe and to feel free. That anytime they could trace where their money is going, anytime they could trace where their money is coming from.
All right. So what are the effects of a ban or any other extreme measures on cryptocurrencies?
All right, I understand when they make measures to try to keep it safe, because they're trying to make sure, like governments are trying to make sure that the people are safe and that the people don't fall for scams. But an excessive ban or a ban at all would be very dangerous, because we're not getting used to the technology that is coming, because it will be trying to avoid the future if we then do that, because cryptocurrencies now are closer than ever to replacing the dollar. That only a few years, right, from now, people will feel safe and will be using cryptocurrencies because they're easier, they're more efficient, and they're faster.
Okay, so why do we need cryptocurrencies? Why not use what's already there, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, like you mentioned?
All right. I used to also ask myself that question. I've been asking myself that question for like 4 years now. So I then realized, why don't I try, enter into the Ethereum network or the Bitcoin network? Why don't I do it myself and see if that's easier? So I tried, and then now it's even more difficult than it was before, because when I was in part 1, Ethereum was only $250. Now it's $3,000.
Yeah.
And it's increasing, because in this week it's on a rise, and Bitcoin is now 46,000, but just a month ago it was 33,000. Wow. So do you see what's happening? Because with trying to get used to it, we're slowly doing it and it's getting away from us. Yeah. So it'll be difficult for any normal Zimbabwean that is not rich or that does not have the capital ready to now enter into a market. Because now, because they're so big, their gas prices are even now bigger. To use Ethereum is now difficult, because one transaction may cost you $6, and a smart contract will be even more expensive, because it will be now costing you $100 in order for that transaction to happen. But with Mbali ecosystem, it's a cheaper way. It's easier because we are creating something of our own. So we will grow with it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Where we will evolve with it, because the better it comes and the more efficient it becomes, right? We will be more efficient and we'll be able to handle such large gas prices. And also I then thought, Kuti, maybe mobile payments, right? Excuse my French. Mobile payments should stay, and that we should just stick to using Econet. We should stick to using Momo, right? Which Vodacom, MTN is using. And then I was like, no, mobile payments, look what happened to you. Like what happened to me a few months ago, is that a transaction rejected I was making an Econet payment, an EcoCash payment, and then it rejected, and then it didn't go through, but I had to go to Econet for it to be reversed.
Oh wow.
Right, and then at the Econet shop, there will be a large line.
Yeah.
And then this guy is there, and instead of fixing it there and then, he's telling us 72 hours. So then I kept on watching everyone why they're being told 72 hours. I really wanted to know. And then I saw that instead of doing it, right, so that it takes 72 hours or maybe it generates, he was just recording it onto his WhatsApp so that someone else can be able to do it and fix that transaction. So I was like, no, this process is not automated at all. Even our payments, when we make payments to our schools, they're not automated because you have to really, like, let's say you make a bank transfer. You have to really go through the most in order for that bank transfer to be seen, because their searching is also poor, and also the process doesn't automatically transfer funds into their account with your name into your school account. So that process will then be done manually. So I noticed there's a whole lot of manual work that is being done, and manual work creates inefficiency.
Exactly.
I can't be trusting a human being to then, after a few hours, with a transaction that I need to happen there and then. What if I'm stuck and that money needs to be used?
Urgent.
Okay, so then are cryptocurrencies energy inefficient?
Bitcoin is said to be by many that is energy inefficient because it actually really takes a whole lot of power and a lot of power to be able to mine one Bitcoin. And also, but with Ethereum, it uses less energy. So our ecosystem, right, decided to combine the two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and to be based on the ETH hash, where it uses less power to mine, and it's a proof of work concept, but it uses less, right, to mine. So people will easily be able to mine, but at the same time, since it's growing, it will become more difficult, right? And then we will have less miners. And then we will also now change to what Ethereum has, which is like their new update, which is more energy efficient because it's now staking and validating. So now instead of proof of work, right, they now have a node who set up a validator node who set itself up, and then it will have a deposit of 32 Ethereum, which it will use to validate and stake.
Okay, so why do you believe that Mbali will work for Africa? Because, for example, Zimbabwe, we are a third world country. So, worse off Africa, it's said to be a dark continent. How do you think it's going to work considering the power outages and shortages and all the load shedding?
All right. Although we are a dark, or said to be a dark continent, right, we are improving and we are growing. At the same time, right, with the power outages that are happening right now, we need a more decentralized system. We don't need a central system that will depend. We don't need a system that will depend on one central server to approve transactions. And so that the flow of the ecosystem goes on. We don't need what is currently there. Because with power outages, if an Ethernet server just goes down, or if all their servers crash, that's it. If they don't have power, that's it. But with a decentralized ecosystem, all devices will have a record of these transactions. All devices will have an encrypted set of records of everything that is going on. So each node or device in itself will sort of be like a server, right? And we'll be able to connect with the next, with the next, with the next to create a large network. So it's sufficient enough to be able to log on to using your phone, your mobile phone. You can easily transact with at TM. You'll be easily able to transact at TM because all you need is to connect to their node with the little internet access, because it doesn't use a lot of internet.
So, for the golden question that everyone would want to know, can you convert this to cash?
When we launch the ecosystem, you'll be able to convert it into cash. We want people to be able to be free. We want to have as much financial freedom as possible. at the same time, we don't want to help with money laundering. So Mbali X will have a lot of legal binding smart contracts in order for someone to be able to convert it into cash. It won't be a tedious process, but at the same time, we want to make sure that it is regulated because, like I said before, cash helps with a whole lot of money laundering. Now, if you have the financial freedom now and you have too much of it, and you easily can change it into cash, right? It becomes dangerous. But it will be easy to change it into Ethereum too. You'll be able to change it into Ethereum. You'll be able to change it into Bitcoin.
Okay.
Right?
Well, there you have it, Africa, the Mbali blockchain ecosystem. Thank you and see you next time.